Modi ore te whānau, welcome into the practice run, your frontline pass to the heart of sports action. Brought to you by 99 Dreams, inspiring others to chase their dreams. With your host, Rawiri, Tukoirangi, and sometimes Brother Vincent. We're diving deep into the thrilling world of the NRL and Rugby League today. And who knows, but the game will take us tomorrow. From the try line to the sideline, we got you covered.
So strap in as we tackle the big plays, the game-changing moments, and the stories that define legends. Whether you're a seasoned vet or this is your first hit up, the practice run is for everyone. Every run, every tackle, every win, experience the rush with us.
With exclusive insights, couch analysis, and a touch of humour, the practice run is here to keep you entertained, informed, and part of our practice squad. Because here, every practice run takes us one step closer to glory.
The Practice Squad, where every listener is MVP, powering our play every episode, every day.
And big shout out to 99 Dreams for powering our passion and for sponsoring a giveaway that currently still no one's entered. So look, man, just head over to our socials and just like the damn page, and then we'll just send this to one random person who likes any one of our 99 Dreams NZ socials platforms. We will post some content up there this week. I'm looking to cut up some content over the weekend, this weekend, so we'll have a little bit. It'll just be clips of the past 19 episodes. This is episode 19 today. Yeah, man, we've cracked out 19 episodes already.
That's crazy.
Bro, 100%, man, 100%. It's 19 episodes, so a little celebration of the mini milestone that we've managed to reach here, Fano. Yeah, so go ahead, like 99 Dreams NZ socials, and we'll get this out to you. Like we said, anywhere in the world, anytime, any place, anywhere. If you just like, don't even have to tell us your favorite player, man. Just trying to give it away, man. We want something to give back to our practice run community, to our practice squad, baby. Come on now. Before we get into anything, brother, you know what it is. You know what we do here. It's time for Paper, Scissors, Rock. We need a name for this. We'll come up with one.
We'll come up with something.
Yeah, for the next episode when we jump back on again, we'll come up with something. But here we go. You know the rules, Fano. We just paper, scissors, rock. Winner wins, losers lose. All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1, shoot. And up. Oh, he got me today.
Back with it.
Bang.
Shazam.
2 got back in the win column. That was nice. That was clean. I went Rocky with paper for those listening on Spotify and Apple. If you guys were playing along at home, let us know if you beat us. If you went scissors, when both 2 and I go paper or something like that, or when we both go rock, and let us know what round you hit the paper. Man, before we dive into anything, how's the weekend, bro? What did you get up
to? So we just finished the 8-week challenge at BFT Tauranga. So done with that. Another challenge done and dusted. Results weren't really that great. But to be honest, I kind of went performance-based, so I pretty much did that on purpose so I could eat whatever I wanted. But yeah, got it done. We got the party this coming weekend, which is going to be huge. But no, Mahi's going well. It's starting to pick up now, so your boy's starting to get a little bit busy, which is good. But other than that, man, no, not really much. What about you?
Man, it was a quiet weekend. It was how the other day I said I wasn't going to go to Wellies, well then I didn't change my mind. Jerry messaged me on Friday and he goes, "Oh, also still coming down. What time do you get in?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, I'll ride down tomorrow." And man, I was really keen to ride down. The weather was like primo for going for a cruise. So I was like, "Oh yeah, sweet." Packed my bag the night before, and then just doing some dumb things on the motorbike. Friday night, wiped out. Took out my foot peg on the right hand side, so we broke the whole bracket that holds the foot peg, the exhaust, and the passenger pegs. So it's non-existent, and so I'm still pretty gutted over that. So yeah, currently there's no foot peg. the bike's a bit dusty. I have to double check the forks; they might be bent. I haven't really gone into too much assessment. So I'm buying a new bracket, and I'm looking at buying a new fairing for the bike. Yeah, it's a bit expensive. Where I could have paid $250. That would have got me some beers for the weekend down there. Would have got me gas all the way there, all the way back. Now I'm paying $300 for the bracket and the brake pegs. I need to buy a new front brake lever, but I might as well replace the clutch at the same time. So I'll do that. I need to get another right mirror, so I'll probably replace both the mirrors on the bike. Need a new exhaust, so we'll buy a new exhaust. And then the fairing. The fairing's like $800 on its own. It is insured, so I can take it to the insurance, but then my excess goes up on the next one. So yeah, we're contemplating, and I better not incriminate myself any further. But yeah, we were on the old Kore Recho. Kore Rich, so I had to register it the other night. So I got to wait a little bit even before I do claim insurance on that. So yeah. It's gonna be. It is what it is, Yeah. Well, hey, look, we're whole. We come off, thankfully, uninjured outside of a few bumps and bruises. So that's the main thing. We are healthy-ish. Lessons learned, man. Don't try to do things that are outside your skill level. I forget sometimes I learned how to ride a motorbike from YouTube, so the base skill level isn't quite wheelie level. Should be trying to do.
Yeah, don't do that.
Yeah. But anyway, that's that. And then I caught WrestleMania over the past couple of days, yesterday and Sunday. So that was pretty dope. Did you manage to catch WrestleMania?
Only caught night one. And then night two, I'm probably going to watch it again on Sunday. But when I got onto it, I had just missed the main event, so I quickly went back a little bit to see how it ended. But I heard what everyone's saying, night two is definitely better than night one. But I thought night one was solid. I thought it was a good warm-up. Yeah.
Night one was great, but just, oh man, the performances in night two really hit. A lot of great endings to storylines. A few guest appearances, man, that was kind of buzzy. But yeah, look, without spoiling it, it's great, bro. It's great. Yeah, I wish you'd have seen it already. But yeah, look, when you do, man, we'll debrief about it on the next show, I guess. But yeah, look.
Yeah, I'm not like obviously like I know like who wins in that, and I think they got it right. Like the right people won. Even the twist, I was like, I think we all saw that twist coming, but happy. I think everyone got the happy ending. Yeah.
Yeah, I hope the bro gets a lot of praise on today's episode of Raw. On today's episode of Raw, I hope he got a lot of praise because he's done a lot, and he deserves a lot of praise for his accomplishments. Yeah, and if that's the end of that, well, it was a good run. It was a great run, legendary run. He's definitely put himself as like a top tier Hall of Famer. You could probably speak his name alongside the likes of a John Cena, a Ric Flair. He definitely was the John Cena of this era. So yeah, hopefully he gets his flowers. But yeah, I agree. It was definitely the right way. But have you seen the results to the first match?
Yeah.
Thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, it had to happen eventually. Not surprised that they did it then, and I think they kind of I think I got tipped off yesterday in that main event, how they kind of already made him like weak enough that it looked like he would probably lose. And then when I heard that CM Punk was was the guest thingy, I was like, okay, something could be in the works here.
Yeah, the extra finish after, just
Yeah.
I was gutted, man. Gutted for the bro. He's put in so much money. Oh man, like
Had to
yeah.
be someone.
I hope you guys have seen it. If you haven't seen it yet, go on to Netflix. It's on Netflix, so go check it out. It was a great night. If you're not a wrestling fan, then just skip along. I am cancelling my subscription now because it's all on Netflix. So I'm just gonna watch it all on Netflix. I was so gutted because like the payment came out on Friday, and then the bro told me it's on Netflix on the Sunday, and I was like, "Oh, actual?" He's like, "Yeah, bro, it's free. You can watch the whole thing." I was like, "Well, now I'm canceling my subscription. That'll save me like $12 per week, per month. Sorry."
Yeah, I forgot about that. Because that was like the big deal that they hit it with Netflix.
Yeah.
When they're making moves. But I wasn't too fast. I mean, I just re-upped my prescription and again. I was like, well, it's only $10. So I was like, yeah, I can do that.
Um, but enough about the WWE. Like we said, man, the practice run eventually will evolve into other sports and sports entertainment. But for now, we focus on the NRL because we're a 2-man show. Well, 2.5. We'll call it a 2.5-man show. We're waiting for Brother Vince. And when he gets here, man, it'll be epic. It'll be epic when he finally does get here. But look, we're heading over to Thursday night. Melbourne Storm at home versus the mighty Broncos. That game was a nail biter. It came down to a 34-32 finish. I thought Jerome Hughes was outstanding. He was just an electric ball runner. He was everywhere you needed him to be. He definitely sparked a lot more of the offense than Cameron Munster did. And obviously Cameron Munster's coming back from a bit of a stint on the sidelines, so it would be expected that Hughes steps up big time. I thought the Broncos did really well. Sailor's kicking game was, I think, what let us down at the end there, opting for those short kicks when we should have just booted it deep and backed our defence. Obviously, we lost Adam Reynolds at the end of the first half, which didn't help the cause at all either. Luckily, we had Corey Oates on the bench, so we could shuffle things around a little bit easier. We also had Dean Mariner have a bit of a niggle, and I think he's off for a bit. I know Adam Reynolds' injury isn't major. I know they were saying it's a minor injury that he will have a small stint and is potentially listed as day-to-day. What else happened, man? Paddy Carrigan, great game. Oh, this was also a standout game for Jesse Arthars, man. He is what sparked a lot of that offense. Him and Ezra Mam, bro, they were good. They look really great together. Jesse Arthars just sparked. I don't even know what happened. He just put his foot down, man, and he was just hitting those holes. I was so gutted. I was inches away from hitting a bet that I put on in the first game. I had, I think it was Billy Walters to score, Broncos to win, paying $280. Billy was this close to scoring, man. This close. Had Stags just hit him in the bread basket, would have been over, but he fumbled the ball. And you know how they say. But look, great game. It was a great game. Had me on the edge the whole way through. Broncos with a better squad out there, but they gave Melbourne Storm the opportunity to steal the game from us, and Melbourne don't need any opportunities to take a game. You seen what they did against the Warriors 2 weeks ago? Well, they stick to their guns, they're disciplined, and they do the right thing. They stay true to who they are, and they just grind out a gritty win in the end. So well done, Melbourne fans. You definitely deserve that. There's no complaining here from me. Brisbane fans, we were just let down in the end. Team just made too many errors. We had 2 opportunities to get over the line late in the second half, and we just failed to produce. So that's my analysis of that game. What do you think, bro? What were you looking at here?
No, actually, probably just echoing a lot of what you said. Personally, this to me was the game of probably the best game I've seen all season. I didn't watch the Storm Warriors game. I missed that one. So, and this game was just next level. I think it proves that both of them are elite teams. Just some notes I wrote down here. Same as you, Hughes was my player of the game. Dude was just different. He kind of sparked everything for the Storm, and he was just he went to another level that game, and they needed him to, because Munster for his first game back was okay, I guess, but not the impact you would expect of him. And to be honest, bro, the the Storm, I thought they lost that battle in the middle. Like I thought your guys forward pack outplayed them, and that's without Payne Haas. I really thought you guys controlled the ruck and was dominant with the forwards. Coates is next level. This dude just, he's got 2 great tries of the year cannon, and he injured that winger that I have a soft spot for the brother. What he did to him was uncalled for. But look, I think the Storm. I don't think they deserve to win that game. Their forwards, I thought, lost that battle. But when you have a spine as good as them, they can still pull it out. Harry Grant is Harry Grant. Hughes on any day of the week. I think he's one of the best players in the world. You got Pep at the back. Munster can still do Munster thing, and you got that dude on the winger. You just kick it to him, and there's not many people that are going to beat him in the air. He can beat you in the air, and he can beat you out wide. But they got it done, man. It doesn't matter how you win, as long as you win. And when it comes to the Storm, they just know how to win. Looking at your Broncos, bro, your forwards, I reckon that they were good. That Takuda kid, he is
big
something else. Yeah, he looks like the next Nasser the Sofa Solomona. He's so huge, bro, and he moves well.
He's a monster.
It's the thing, like normally people that big, they don't move that well. Like he moves quite fluid, and every time he touched the ball, you guys needed 3. Storm needed 3 people to contain him. He's that big. So he's one to watch out for. I think you got a good one there, and I hope you can't afford him, because we certainly can. Swear I talk about this guy every week, but to me he's just elite, and it's Paddy Carrigan. Like honestly, I think he's neck and neck with Isaiah Yeo. I think it's those 2 as the best locks, and then there's everyone else. And what he does for you guys is just stupid. His hit ups, his ball playing, and his defense. I don't think he would make my team any day of the week. To be honest, he's that good.
He's really stepped up in the absence of Payne Haas as well. Like he's really shown a lot of leadership to just go, all right, boys, get in behind, and I'll pave the way forward. And he's doing a tremendous job in the absence of Payne Haas. And I think the other forwards are just getting around his work ethic. They just go, all right, well, if Paddy can do it, we can do it, and just get in there and go hard.
Yeah, and he's gone to that level now where really does he have a bad game? I mean, I think his worst game this year was that game where he got shifted into from the middle out to the lot, and that was out of an injury. You know what I mean? Yeah. But he's so consistent, and to me he's just elite. Nothing more to be said about that, really. Ezra Mann, I thought that was his best game this season. He thoroughly outplayed Munster, and honestly, the way he runs, he's so quick. He does things that other Sixers can't, purely because of his speed. And I know Reynolds was gone, but I thought he kind of stepped up. He showed me a lot, and I think what he showed in the absence of Reynolds, honestly, I think you guys will be fine in a couple of years when Reynolds is no longer there. Mann's kind of doing his apprenticeship under him. Probably still going to need another 7. I don't know if he's got one coming through the system or what, but I think by the time Reynolds goes, I think Mann will be okay to step into that role. And yeah, you guys were good enough to win that game. I thought you deserved it. But it is what it is. Move on to the next one. I think what we saw is just two elite teams going at it, and it showed that when you're at that level, man, you have to take your chances when you can. If you muck up, you're going to pay the price. And yeah, so that was for me the game of the round. But yeah, that's all I got to say on it, brother. Don't know if you got anything more. Or...
Yeah, well, I agree with you. It was definitely a great game. Great battle. Who's to say if we had a full strength team, what would have happened? But one thing I did want to touch on is how good is Brisbane at producing quality wingers? Throughout the history of Brisbane, we've always had quality wingers coming out of Brisbane, and Coates is another one. We've got Arthars and Mariner, who are another couple quality wingers playing for Brisbane. We've had, Yao Yi play for Brisbane. He was a gun. Sailor. Who was it? Renoff. Is he a centre or a winger? Can't remember, but anyway.
Centre, I think, yeah.
We've always had quality wingers.
Makes sense, right? Because you guys pretty much get the cream of the crop when it comes to Queensland and all those young guns coming through. I mean, now they got other places where they can go, but those other teams just don't have the history that you guys have. So I'd assume that Brisbane still gets the first pick of the top bunch. And then if you can't crack it at the Broncos, then you're probably going to those other teams like the Cowboys and the Dolphins and the Titans. But that's what I wanted to comment on. I know he's fallen out of favour there, and I think he hasn't cracked the team just because they keep winning. But this forward pack for the Storm, to me, I don't think it's good enough to win in the comp. Like, I've never seen the Storm pack kind of get dominated like they have been lately. And I know they've been winning, but normally their forward pack is one of the strongest. And yeah, I just don't understand why that big man Nelson isn't playing. Like, I get they're not happy with him and he came in heavier, but it's Nelson, you know what you're getting with him. He's never going to be a 60-minute player, so I don't see why you just don't give him his 40, because it's going to be pure carnage.
Yeah.
When he's out there, and he changes that team, man. He gets you go forward ball. You got to take the good with the bad. So he's going to give away a couple of penalties, but
he's a strong enforcer.
Yeah, and I think they could really use him. And the bro Jack Howarth, he finally got on, didn't he?
Finally got on.
Yeah. I don't know. I hope a team's looking at him and thinking of picking him up. But
yeah, he's too good to be sitting in reserve grade, man. He's too good to be in reserve grade, and I don't see Ben Takuta staying in reserve grade much longer either. I'm sure even when Payne comes back, Ben's going to find a way to force his hand and give his hand, and make his way onto the bench. I could even see, maybe starting next year, midway through next year, him and Payne Haas being a prop combo moving forward.
Ooh.
That'd be deadly.
That would be deadly. Imagine, because those are two big boys. I mean, I want to see a photo of him next to Payne Haas. Because there's that photo of him next to Reynolds. Is it him and Reynolds? Yeah. It's silly, right? But yeah. Oh, that was the other one, Sailor. Yeah, you're right, bro. He's too good. He's got to be in that 17. Has to.
Yeah, man. Otherwise, another club's going to pick him up.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, right? If you're a club in need of a fullback or just in need of like quality, you'd be a fool not to at least look at him.
I'm surprised the Titans haven't tried to pick him. I mean, they get just a team full of fullbacks at this point.
Yeah, he's I know you don't like smoothies, so could you see a word where smoothies just out the side and Sailor gets that 14?
Yeah, man. Yeah,
it's
just trying to figure out where he can slot into that side. If he comes in as injury cover, or if he can find a way to evolve his game from fullback. into being a utility. He'd find a whole lot of value, probably more in his contract if he can find a way to become a utility. Maybe becoming a backup half. Him and Reynolds can play half a half each.
Yeah, he's coming of age, and I think he's too good to be left out there 17, and he's too good for Super League. But
Oh yeah, way too good for Super League. Who knows? Well, there'll be a team. I mean, Rapana, he's not getting any younger. The Raiders could be looking to score a new fullback. Who's another team that could use a fullback? Maybe. Heck, I'm trying to quickly think through all the bloody teams. Bulldogs. Maybe you guys need a new fullback.
No, I mean, we'll talk about that soon. But would be fools not to look at him, right?
Friday night, Accor Stadium in Sydney. Man, that was a good game. It was a good game. Holy, it killed my multi, but hey.
Yeah, look, Friday night Bulldogs against Roosters. Before we get into it, I just want to say, those retro tops were so clean and so good, and I'm absolutely gutted I didn't get one.
I told you.
I know. It was just a timing thing. Just timing was just off. I was doing my recovery at the gym, doing my hot and cold. I didn't even see Rawiri text me or sends me a message saying that it's live now, but I was doing my thing. By the time I got out, had a shower, looked in the car, it was about 7:30ish. The larges were already gone. The XLs were already gone. The drive from the gym to home was literally 10 minutes. By the time I got home, the double XLs were gone. It was just everything gone.
Wasn't meant to be. Wasn't meant to be.
Yeah, and that top was so slick.
Clean.
Yeah, just missed out.
Before we dive into that, how clean have the heritage jerseys been this season? Like the Broncos have hit the mark, the Warriors have hit the mark, the Bulldogs nailed it. The Parramatta one was okay. I don't think it was that great. The Tigers one is the 2000 Tigers jersey. That one's not too bad. I'm not actually a big fan of that Tigers jersey. I think I only like the 05 Tigers jersey and maybe the Blade 2000 and was it 13 jersey. Those Blade ones. It was Keith Galloway and Chris Heighton and Bo Ryan, Benji Marshall, that era of Tigers. I think that. So yeah, this Tigers one didn't appeal to me, but that Bulldogs one is clean.
Yeah, that was absolutely, pretty good about that. But on to the game, and what a game of two halves. Boy, let me tell you that look, that first half, to be honest, that's the best I've ever seen us play. Probably in a few years. The only other game I could think where we played that well was when we smoked the Eels 2 years ago. Everything went our way. We completed at a ridiculous high level. I think we had 62% of the ball. They had 38. And it started from the beginning. Kickoff, we were kicking off. I think they got a hit up, and then old Dom Young, he's just too casual. He has this habit at the start of the game just being super casual. And while he bucked up and we scored with our first touch of the ball, which was amazing. So yeah, Kikau, he's balling out. And to me, he's been our best player so far. His consistency to start the season. And I think he's reminding everyone just how good he is. When he was at Penrith, he was the best second rower. And he's, for a few years. And last year wasn't his greatest year. He was injured and missed so many games. But he's come back with a vengeance, and he's been nothing short of dominant. And he showed that, because it's not often you see someone disrespect the superstar Joey Manu like that. But Kikau said, not today. And then what he did to Teddy at the back just put him to sleep. Teddy wasn't even tired, but he went to sleep with that big hit. And yeah, the bro, I think he had his first half stats was something 7 runs, 120 meters, like 2 line breaks, 5 tackle breaks, 1 try assist. It was just stupid. He was dominant. And yeah, and off the back of that, I think that's why Burton has kind of come into his own. To me, that was Burton's best game of the season, and he's been playing really, really good. And I think he's just feeding off Kikau. And their combination, if they keep this up, I think it'd be really, really damaging and one of the best in the leagues. And it makes me think, was Luai that dominant because of Kikau? Because, when you have Kikau next to you, you can do a lot of things. So, yeah, I'm really liking where that combo is coming along. And if they keep that up, I think we're going to surprise a few teams. And I'm starting to get a little bit of hope. Yeah, only because of that first half. I don't want to talk about that second half. I don't know what the hell happened. Shit just went happen. Complete opposite, literally. But yeah. And what else have I got written down here? Oh, so in that first half, before he got knocked out, bro must have been tired. Blake Taff, I know I've been talking about him and I've been wanting him out of that fullback position, but honestly, that first 20 minutes, I was like, I might have to eat my words here because he made that tackle on Dom Young. He looked good. He looked quick. His decision making was great. He was really building something there, and that was easily his best 20 minutes in Bulldogs colours. And yeah, I mean, Dom Young just wasn't his night. He fucked up the first play, then wanted to have an early night, so he sent the bro to bed. And now he's going to be sitting on the sideline for a few weeks. What else I got here? We finally got to look at credit of fullback. I've been asking for it. And sometimes, you must be wary of what you ask for because you might actually get it and you might feel indifferent. Look, he got a bit of hate on Bulldogs fan page. A lot of comments saying like, see, told you he's not a fullback. He's a centre. He never looks good at fullback. He got a lot of hate comments about his defense in that second half. I just thought we were under the pump. Now, I'm not a fan of a couple of the tackles he tried to attempt on our line. I think it was Egan Butcher scored and Critter went for a low tackle, like 2 meters out from the line. You're the fullback, last line of the fence. I don't understand why he would have done that. I would assume if you're the last line and, you kind of have to tackle up high. But I did like what I saw, and the reason why I always wanted him at fullback was his carries out the backfield. His carries were powerful. Like, he was actually moving forward, and it always took 3 or 4 of them to tackle him. So he kind of gave us that momentum to start our sets, which is why I thought he would be good there. But his defense I wouldn't say it wasn't that great. I just think they just rolled us in that second half. And he was just put under too much pressure, and so we didn't really get to see what he could do in attack at fullback. But yeah, look, and then overall, super happy with the boys' performance. That second half where it just flipped, it is what it is. I wrote down here, if we had a loss, I would not have heard the end of it. Blowing that game, but honestly, all in all, everyone played well. Curran, he's probably been our buy of the season so far. Kurt Mann got the starter locked and he played good. He looked really good. I was quite happy with our forwards. For undersized forward pack, I actually thought we held our own. And I actually think we won that battle in the first half, and that went a long way to us winning. Shout out to the bro Bronson Cherry. First game in 4 years. I thought he did okay, but I wasn't expecting him to set the world on fire. This is what, I think his 5th game of rugby league in 4 years. And I think he'll only get better from here. Hopefully he remains in the team. But shout out to him. To the Roosters, that game was just carnage, really. 2 injuries, HIA failed, Dom Young, early night. It was injuries everywhere, bro. We had so many injuries after that game. It was ridiculous. I think our team's going to look so different next week because we've got like 4 or 5 players out. And yeah, I don't know. The second half, if you want to talk about it, you can. I'll just remember the good times that first half where we utterly dominated. And if we can play like that, we can beat any team. Maybe not Penrith, but I'd back us against any team if we play that well. So,
Well, we have been saying that though, eh? We have been saying that the Bulldogs have been building something. They've been unfortunate to lose a lot of the games that they have lost. There's been a few where they just looked hopeless, but there's been a couple of games where they look like they're building something over there at Bulldogs Town. It's sounds like it's finally clicked. I missed the first half of that game. I just went to go check the halftime score, and I was like, "Oh shit, Bulldogs!" And I said to a messenger, it was just Bulldogs, all caps with a couple of exclamation points. And then I decided to chuck the game on, and yeah, 30-0. So it's probably my fault, man, because once I turned it on, it was the second half, and they started to come back, and I was like, "Oh shit, my bad." A big storyline that I guess came out of that was we got to see the return of Michael Jennings. So both the Drug Boys were on the field playing against each other on their return games. So yeah, love to see meth heads back on the field. But did you also see that storyline coming out? So the NRL CEO is not willing to recognise Michael Jennings' 300th game. He refuses to recognise his 300th game, which I think is unfortunate. I mean, the man's paid his price. He's paid his registration fees. He's allowed to play on the footy field, so all these games count. So why be a cunt about it? Just fucking play the boys' 300th game. Recognise it. I'm pretty sure the Roosters probably will. They'll identify it as being his 300th game, even if the NRL won't. So yeah, it was just nice to see a familiar face out there on the footy field this weekend, especially that was for me, my era of league, seeing the likes of Michael Jennings out there. So yeah, big fan of that over the weekend. But overall, look, the Roosters haven't quite found that consistency yet. They've been there, and I understand that they have a few key players missing. I was watching a lot of the NRL fantasy chat, and people who captained Tedesco got -4 points because I think he went off with -2, so they got -4 points for their fantasy score, and I'm pretty sure Dom Young got -5 or something like that. I think one person captained him and he got -10 or some shit. Oh man, it was hilarious. So fantasy wasn't kind to a lot of those people this week. But yeah, look, we've got most tackles with Reid Mahoney on 54 and Angus Crichton on 36. Most run meters was your big boy Kikau on 167 versus Joey Manu's 169, which just goes to show that Roosters forward pack got dominated if you've got a centre with the most run meters. Most line breaks was Birdo with 2 versus Tupou's 1. And then, yeah, fantasy points. Birdo absolutely killed it. Luke Keary wasn't too far off. And you know what sucks, man? I dropped Birdo about 2-3 weeks ago and picked up Galvin.
I know.
So, am I gutted? Yeah. Not really, because Galvin's been putting up points week in and week out. But, man, to see Birdo put up 82 points in fantasy. Well, and just like I said, it's good to see the Bulldogs have some success. A club that used to be synonymous with success. To see them over the past few years has been quite sad. So it's good to see the Bulldogs with some life back in the club. And like you said, if a lot of those guys can find that consistency, if Taff can find some consistency and play, week in and week out like that, I think the Bulldogs will be there or thereabouts in the next couple of years. Heading over to the second game on Friday night, Newcastle Knights took on the Dragons, and the Knights conquered the Dragons. At McDonald Dome Stadium, it was 30-10, full-time score. I didn't actually watch this game. I'm just basing it off of the stats. So if you got any feedback for this game, let us know, my bro.
Yeah, I caught some of it, but I think the storyline coming out of this game is one, bro, it was just stupid. Like the Storm, that crash. Like, it was raining. Well, it was definitely raining that Friday night, and it was like puddles galore. Don't think you want to play rugby, or you either like playing in that type of weather or you don't. It was kind of like, the scene in The Longest Yard, that practice scene where like it's raining and they're just like that's the type of weather they were playing in. It was fucking terrible, bro, absolutely terrible. But
Damn.
storylines coming out of that game is your boy Sloan. He kind of got the hook from fullback and got put to wing. Shane Flanagan was not happy with his performance and said he has a few things he needs to work on. So, of course, they moved that man who we've been talking about heaps on his podcast, Lomax. He got shifted to fullback, and I don't think he looked out of place. Zach Lomax scored, I think, the first try of the game, and then he set up the second try to Ben Hunt with that ridiculous flick pass back in when it looked like he was going to go over. Look, we've talked about it plenty. He's been getting his flowers heaps, and rightfully so. Look, I still don't know why he wants to leave when he's in career best form, but that's his decision. And yeah, look, in terms of the Knights, I mean, it's amazing what happens when you go with, the pairing everyone thinks you should have went off with Hastings and Jack Cogger. I thought those two played really well. I think that rightfully so will be the hardest pairing going forward. But the hooker to have Jaden Brayley, older brother of Blake Brayley at the Sharks, back and healthy, I think he just changes that team to dynamics. Phoenix Crossland's a serviceable hooker, but Jaden is a specialist hooker, and I think it showed. I thought their forward pack was dominant. Leo Thompson, we talked about him last week. Like, how come we hadn't seen him? I think he was suspended, or whatever. Yeah, but he was back and he proved the difference, man. Dan Gagai as well, he was back. Marju, I think, is still a couple of weeks away. Ponga did his thing. He kind of chimed in when he could, and when you get him the ball, good things happen. Ben Hunt was good, but honestly, I think the Knights, I think they deserve that game. Dragons have shown glimpses of what they could be, but they're just not consistent enough. And Sloan has his moments, but then he also doesn't. So I think rumor has it he is going to get shifted to wing next game, and Lomax is going to get a shot at that fullback position, which is crazy because from what I'm hearing, he's already in talks with the Eels, and that deal could be done as soon as next week. But yeah, that's pretty much all I remember from the game and the storylines coming out of it. We still don't know what these two teams are, whether they're top 8 material or gonna miss. I think the Dragons, out of the two, will probably be the more likely of the teams to miss the playoffs. But Knights, low-key, need to get their shit together, because the way they've been playing, I don't think it's good enough. They got the team to do it. They just have to put it together. But I think I came away with that game with maybe more questions than answers for both teams. But yeah, man, that's about me. What do you got? What do your stats say? Got anything else to add?
Sorry, man. It was hella laggy throughout all of that. So
Yeah.
It's all good. It's all good. The one thing I was going to say is that, the Knights and Dragons have been about subpar. I expected Jackson Hastings to do something, as he's fairly vocal about not wanting to be taken out of first grade. So it's good to see him back and do bits. I'm still not a big Kalen Ponga fan. I still think Sean Johnson was robbed last season. So, but we did say at the start of the year, Kalen Ponga needs to have other cast members around him to support him so he can do what he does. If he has to try and instigate everything on offense, then you're never quite going to get the Knights rolling. Whereas if, Hastings and Cogger do their things in the halves, and you got Brayley who does his thing at the hooking position, then Ponga can come in and out as he needs to. And that's where I think he'll really benefit. Similar to how Reece Walsh does. We've got Mam and Reynolds when they're on the field with Reece. Reece can just do Reece. Reynolds will steer the team around, and Mam just pops off with brilliance every now and then. So if the Knights can find that similar combination over there, Lomax, man, he is a gun. He's going to be missed at the Dragons, wherever he ends up. I'm not too sure where he'll end up. There's conversations that maybe it's not the fact that he's on the wing. It's just he's not happy at the club in general. So yeah, they said. Well, I was listening to both the Bloke in a Bar and the Levels Network podcasts, and both of them are saying they think that it might be more to do with the Dragons organization rather than the coach and him being out on the wing. So maybe if he does go to another club, he will be looking to maybe stay on the wing, because everyone's saying he's a much better winger than he has been a centre. And if he can sort of be centre fullback flex, then maybe that'll keep him happy. But he's another serviceable player that deserves to find a good home, and I just hope that he continues to play great footy, because he's in my fantasy team. But that's all from me in terms of those Friday night games. Anything else to add on those two games there, brother?
Nah, man. Let's keep this ship moving and go on to this Super Saturday.
Well, we're heading back to Accor Stadium. They had a game the night before, and they have another game today. And like we said with this Bunnies team, man, what's going on? What's happening? We'll get into that shortly, because the final score for the Bunnies was 4-34. The Warriors were polite enough to give them a gentleman's try and not give them a thrashing like they deserved. You know how you said be careful what you wish for, because you just might get it? Well, last week and every other week we've been saying, I'm tired of Metcalf. He shouldn't be there. Bring in Tamati Martin, bring in Chanel Harris-Tavita. How good did Tamati Martin look out there on Saturday? He looked complete out there. He was getting the ball where it needed to be. Him and Sean have a great combination. Chance looked great back at fullback, man. Everyone's saying, what about Roger? Mate, Chance is a winning fullback with that team. Like, the coach has already spent a full season with him, figuring out the game plan and building that sort of team's attacking style with Chance in mind. Now Rogers in the squad, and he ended up playing on the wing on Saturday to cover for Dallin Martinez-Elizner, so he wasn't even in the centre. Pompey was playing centres. But look, the combination between Chance, Sean, Tamati Martin, Egan keeping the Warriors on the front foot was it was something to behold, man. And if the Warriors play like that, this is their year. This was a solid performance. We see Latrell going off for 3 weeks for his bit of a umbuk. I've seen a whole bunch of memes. Instead of Tony Jaa, they were doing Latrell Mitchell umbuk. They were doing Rush Hour 3. It was Latrell Mitchell and Dom Young. So heaps of memes came out of that. The wheels keep turning on the Warriors bandwagon. I think there's still a few seats, but boy, the seats are selling out fast. Whānau, you better get on quick if you're a Warriors fan. It's all aboard. This is our year. They're saying this is our best team that we've had in the entire history of the club at the Warriors. Adam Fanua-Blake is just doing things up the middle. He's definitely put his hand up for another Dally and prop of the year. Like, man, his consistency, his go forward, he's really showing that, although he's off at the end of the season, he's going to do his best to drag that Warriors team to the grand final. And, I wouldn't be mad if they make it, because they do deserve it. The Warriors fans do deserve it. I think they're one of, three teams to have not won a grand final. I think it's the Warriors, the Titans, and the Dolphins, to have never won a grand final before. So, yeah, look out, Warriors fans. This could be your year. I wouldn't get too high and mighty too early. It's still a long way to go. You have a lot of key players that could get injured between now and then. I mean, hey, let's hope everyone stays healthy. Sean Johnson is looking, he's aging like fine wine out there, man. Everyone's saying, and I think he's a bit hard done by not to make our team of the week this week, but man, he is looking good out there. He should definitely be in the running for Dally M again this season, especially with the way that the combinations are working with Tamani Martin on that Warriors side. With Chance back, I think Sean's really going to have the ability to excel now, because, I don't know what it is. Chance just knows how to help the spine just attack on those edges and stuff like that. So it was just great to see him back, man. And I love Roger. He's also in my fantasy squad. It was a terrible game on the wing. I think we got saved by that try that he put in the corner. But I know he'll do great in the centres. He'll be able to do his role for the team, because he's a humble man, and good on him for winning his 200th game. They were calling him Roger 200 Basashik. So yeah, over to the Bunnies. Man, trouble in paradise. Trouble is brewing. So much for, what's his name, Lachlan Ilias being the cancer of the team, being the reason that they were losing. Shame on the coach for giving up on his young player like that, and actually throwing him out to the Wolves. That was bullshit, really. You shouldn't have put all that pressure on the young fella to perform. You shouldn't have put all the blame on the young fella for losing those games. It's you as a coach, it's your team. I'm assuming they just don't like you. You've got no control of the team, and it's a matter of time before you're gone. What do you reckon too, man, about the whole situation? How about that game?
Yeah, look, in terms of the Warriors, I think it's a statement game, and you're right. They are right there. They're up there with one of the elite teams. They are a deep team, going through some injuries, and they've got cover to get there. That forward pack, Tohu Harris, Adam Fanua Blake, Mitch Barnett, you got Egan. I think I said a few weeks ago he's now an elite hooker. He's up there, and honestly, I think New South Wales should really be looking at him for a spot on Origin.
Oh yeah.
He's made that sort of jump. You got SJ doing SJ things. Chances back. Look, the Warriors, this is their best shot. No, I agree with that. And look, I wish him nothing but the best, man. As I like to say, look, if my Bulldogs don't win it, I'm always of the standard that I just want the same team to win it. But if it was Penrith against Warriors in the final, it'd be hard not to back the Wars. But yeah, look, this is a day that they've got the team, they've got the experience. There's no reason why they can't win it, and they are a legit threat. They can beat, on their day, they can beat any team. They're that good. But that's enough about them. Because, let's dive deep into the shit show that is the South Sydney Rabbitohs. You hopeless pieces of pricks. Look, as far as I'm concerned, Demetrio, he's out of there. And it shows on their face, bro. Like, the whole Lachlan Ilias thing, scapegoat, we talked about it. You expected a 20-year-old to lead this team with vets around. They don't listen to him. They never did on the field. And every time he would overcall, he had the pressure of either you score or you're going to hear about later. And when he didn't score, you got all those senior players just up in arms. And it's happening again. When things aren't going their way, I think they're like yelling at each other. Like, no one's on the same page. It's a shit show, man. And obviously something has to change. And honestly, I think had they not won last week, like if we managed to actually win that game after getting destroyed by the Warriors, he's probably would have got the boot then and there. But I think they're probably going to give him a couple more weeks to prove themselves. But once you lose the locker, there's just no coming back, and it looks like he has. And the whole Latrell thing, bro, it might actually be a blessing in disguise, eh? Him not being there. Like, if we're being honest, it could be. It could
bad,
be what.
Man. He's a quality player. It just looks like he's not enjoying his footy right now at the Bunnies.
Nah, it doesn't look that way either, and it doesn't help when you get booed every time you touch the ball and all those other things that's happening outside of football. I don't know what's going on between that head of his, but he's got 3 weeks to think about it. And honestly, there are reps on their backup fullback. I think his name's Jai. Don't quote me on that, but he has been killing in New South Wales Cup. He's been owning it, and it was more a matter of time before he finally got the call up. And so we're probably going to see it now. He's probably the one that gets. Yeah, I'd say he's the one that gets put to fullback.
And if he goes well, would we see a shift of Latrell to centre?
I'd say so. Yeah, they might just have to pull the pin on it anyway and put Latrell to centre, because Latrell to centre. Honestly, they need to think of, like, do you put Whiten to 6, shift Cody to 7, or do you? There's a lot of questions. I know that young buck winger that I was talking about is finally back. I'm pretty sure Tyrone Munro. So it'll be good to see how he goes. But this team's just in dysfunction, disarray. Something has to happen. Not saying that they can't make the 8, but
it's going to be tough. We need South fans at every game chanting, Dimitri, yo, gotta go. Dimitri, yo, gotta go. Say Dimitri, yo, gotta go. Just instead of booing Latrell, just chant Dimitri, yo, gotta go every game. So here's another thing that's been thrown around a lot. Supercoach Wayne Bennett, off contract with the Dolphins at the end of 2024. Does he come back to Redfern and coach the Bunnies for another couple of seasons until they find, or until Sam Burgess, comes off contract over at Super League and comes back to coach the South Sydney Bunnies? Because they wanted to try and bring him over mid-season, but he's locked in, I think, is it Warrington? He's locked in somewhere, and he's having actually a quality season over there. He's actually got a decent win-loss record. And apparently the players absolutely love having him. So there's talks that maybe what's his name? Martin Crowe? No, that's the cricket player. Russell Crowe. Yeah, the actor. There's talks of him throwing the bag to whatever club that Sam Burgess is at to release him from his contract and send him back to South Sydney to take over Demetrio, who has to go. Or even bring in Supercoach Wayne Bennett and then bring back Sam Burgess, have him sit alongside him, similar to the Tim Machines, Benji Marshall's sitch, and sort of retire Wayne and put Sam in the spot. But whatever it is, something's got to change. They're hitting Cleveland Browns territory.
Yeah, it is not looking good. And I think it was on the Level podcast they talked about coaches that follow Wayne, and they never have a good record. In fact, things always seem to go south when he leaves. Demetrio was one of the lucky ones, right? He went to a preliminary final his first year, but ever since then it's just kind of been downhill. Look, you'll be a fool not to go after Wayne, right? I mean, he's there, he's off contract, it all just makes too much sense. And I think they need to get a coach that those players will listen to, and I'm pretty sure everyone listens to Wayne. What he says goes, and he's still got the knack for it. But yeah, I don't know. I think even Demetrius knows he's gone. He has to at this point. You can't. I just don't see how you save it. I never think you could switch players in and out, but I don't know. They got a lot to fix, which is so crazy to think because their team, like if you go talent wise, is so stacked. Cody Walker has not been playing up to standard, and he hasn't been called out. Not his greatest start, and yeah, Damien Cook. I don't even think he makes the New South Wales team this time. To be honest, if we're going on best on form, there's only one player that would get picked for New South Wales, and that's Cameron Murray, and he's pretty much the shining light for that team. He's the only one that goes, does anything. Like Keon, I mean, their forward pack is still like ridiculously good. I don't know. No one knows, but shit needs to change. Throw in the towel. Yeah, because, at Souths, it's either there are expectations that they are there or thereabouts. And look, this has to be a warning to all those players, right? Like, what do you think is going through Jack Wyden's head at this moment? Like, I left the Raiders for this shit? Like, that was his franchise, he was the franchise there. Come over and, goes to show you it isn't always green on the other side. And, hey, theme of tonight, right? Be careful what you ask for, because it might not be what you think it turns out to be.
Yeah, hey, Lomax.
Yeah, look, man, just be careful, because you might get it and it might not be what you think it is.
Yeah.
But yeah. So I got to say, man, it'll be interesting to see who's the new coach. We'll probably find out soon.
We'll find out sooner rather than later. Remember, South fans, Demetrio, gotta go. Demetrio, gotta go. All right, we're heading over to Four Pines Park, Sydney. That's a hell of a fucking stadium name. 4 Pines Park, Sydney. Manly Sea Eagles at home taking on the Penrith Panthers. This was the biggest surprise game of the round for me. I'm sitting at home. It's Saturday night. I'm licking my wounds. I'm battered. I'm bruised from my motorbike. Watching. And then I watch, Panthers, they score early. And I'm like, oh, yeah, here it is. Panthers, business as usual. And then the Sea Eagles have a few opportunities, and the Panthers don't quite look the same. They don't have that same aggression that they've had in the previous 4 rounds. Are they tiring themselves out, or is this just a one-off game? Who knows? I sound like, what's his name? Jameson from Spider-Man. Just I'm anti-Panthers, just like he's anti-Spider-Man. Just every week, is this where they finally reached the cliff? Are they fallen off yet? I don't think so. I think the Panthers are still a very classy squad. It just might be that they weren't quite sure what kind of aggression and intensity to have in this game. I'm just trying to pull up the name of the player. What's his name? What's his name? Was it Nathan Brown? Man, Nathan Brown had some strong bloody carries in that game. He just put his foot down, bro, and just ran through a mob. He reminded me of some Marshawn Lynch with some of his running, bro. He just grab that ball and just run hard. And those Penrith boys, they ain't no small boys. They ain't no one you just gonna run at lightly. If you run hard at them, you're a bad man. So, bro, Nathan Brown, you a bad motherfucker. Look, I enjoyed this game actually, and I'm not a Manly fan. I don't think we know any Manly fans, and I'm an anti-Penrith guy, so I love this game. I loved it. It didn't look like a regular Panthers game. I'm not too sure what it was. I mean, Penrith and Manly shouldn't be too far away, so you can't blame the travel. But yeah, it just didn't look like your standard, Penrith clinic where they just come down, wear you out, keep you down in your own 30 for most of the first half. Maybe you score one try late in the end of the first half. It was a game where Manly could spread the ball out wide. They had attacking chances. I think Garrick went off early in the first with a concussion. Yeah, it was a great game from Manly. I really did enjoy watching that. Turbo looked good for once. Cherry Evans, and his, what was it? I think he's now the most capped Manly player after that. So, congratulations to him for getting that honour. That's a huge honour. I know there's a lot of Manly legends that everyone always talks about down there. I know there's that Cliffy Lyons, the Stewart brothers. So there's a history of great Manly players. So yeah, stoked that you guys got the win and derailed some of that Penrith momentum, because once they get too much confidence, it's really hard to stop those boys. So shout out to Manly for keeping it real. And what I've liked about Manly this season is that they have beaten some teams that you wouldn't expect them to. At the start of the season, we thought South were going to pick up and be a top contending team. Manly knocked them off at the start of the season. Manly now knocked off the Panthers. Who else have they beaten this season? I can't remember, but they've had a few great wins there. I'm not too sure. I know that once Cleary comes back, all will be well again in paradise and Penrith. So yeah, it was a really good game. Good to see some of those lads back, and yeah. What do you got, bro?
Yeah, I forget how teams get up for like big occasions. It's the one thing I forgot to take into account when like picking who's gonna win. Like say for example, I forgot they the 04 Premiership players were all gonna be there that weekend for the Bulldogs, so they would have been at trainings, and to hear those stories would have amped up the boys. So I forget that sometimes when people play with an extra oomph in their game, they can take it to another level. And DCE, I mean, probably one of the greatest, if not the greatest, Manly player of all time. And for him to be playing that game and to take that record off Cliff Lyons, I think it was, or whoever it was, no doubt the other players would have gotten up for him. It's a big occasion, and they stepped up to the plate. So, I didn't even take that into account because it's Penrith and we expect Penrith things. So,
yeah,
it just doesn't matter when you're facing the Panthers. They're just gonna do one on you. But look, Sea Eagles got the dub. Good on them. I didn't really watch much of the game, but what I did see was Dylan Edwards get that runaway try. It looked like all their tries he either scored or was directly involved in. Dylan Edwards. Look, I know Teddy's like captain of New South, but he just got concussed, and surely he might be out for a little bit. If you're Madge, surely it has to at least be on your radar. Do you just call it and do you name Dylan Edwards as your fullback? Because at this point, I said it last week, not only is he one of the best fullbacks, no, actually, I think, to me, he probably is the best fullback. I would say Reece Welsh might have something to say about that. But it's just his consistency that separates him.
Yeah.
Dylan Edwards, not much separates his best and worst game. He's just so damn consistent. You gotta at least think about it, right? You gotta at least think about having him. I think he's gonna make the team.
I'm with you on that.
Yeah, so might be looking like Edo Carr might be missing out. But I think the way Dylan Edwards plays now, it kind of reminds me of Teddy back in those days, like his support play, the way he runs back, his returns. Obviously, his ball playing stalls kind of needs to be worked on, but he's there now. He's making the right plays. He can make the pass, and he can freaking make something out of nothing. Honestly, I think it might be time to just call it. And I think if I was picking the team, it would just be hard not to pick Edwards at fullback. As great as Teddy is, as great as what he's done, and he's had a good start to the season, eventually you got to turn to the new one, and I just think this guy's too good. I would have him as my number one.
I agree with you there, bro.
New South Wales. But yeah, look, in terms of the game itself, Congrats to the Seagulls getting the dub for the Bro DCE. I think Penrith will be back. I know that they got a few calls that went against them, like that Kohler try. How is that not a knock on? Like every day of the week, right? It doesn't even get to that pass, right? The fact that he let it play out, because you can always go to the bunker and review it, and because the way the ball fell and went back to their line, like, yes, I get it. Technically, it didn't go, but shut up. He's moving forward. He touched it. Like, common sense, brother. Every day of the week,
man.
that's been a knock on since
Since
way
Pro Van
back.
Summons.
You know what I mean? Like that's a knock on every day of the week. But yeah, like I think Panthers will be back.
Oh yeah.
It seems to them they just go on to the next one. Yep, done with it now. Go next one. They'll be back. Manly, they need to take this game and build on it. And then yeah.
Yeah, well, that was a rare performance from Penrith. You're not going to catch them doing that every week. They're too quality of a side to do that. Manly are definitely lucky that's how they came out and played on Saturday night. Because, I wish they played like that versus the Brisbane Broncos. We would have won. We would have smashed them. But, hey, they show up for different games. Like you said, they'll bounce back next week, most definitely. On the Dylan Edwards topic, I agree. Look, he's the fittest player in the comp. He's everywhere. He's a menace. He deserves to start. He's the most informed player. Him and Reece Walsh, I think, are 1-on-1 best fullbacks in the comp at the moment, just for two different reasons. Dylan Edwards is the reliable fullback. He reminds me of like you know how Conrad Smith is as a centre when you pick him in the All Blacks. He's just he's a player that he's as safe as houses. He's just there to do his job. You pick him every time, and that's just one position you don't have to worry about. And it's now, who do I pair that with? Well, that's Dylan Edwards. The safe as houses. You pick him every day of the week, and he just gets his job done. You don't have to worry about it. Reece Walsh, he's electrifying. You just kind of pick him and you let him just do something magical. However, you've just got to make sure that he's getting enough ball to do that magical stuff. Whereas Dylan Edwards doesn't need the ball all the time to do magic. He's there when you need him. If it's in the game plan, he's there. If he's the second passer, he's there. If he's got to put in the grubber, or if he's chasing the grubber on fifth, if we're out 5 balls, 7 meters in from the try line, from the sideline. Sorry, are we going to go for the grubber? He's there, pouncing on the ball. So, two different fullbacks, but great skill set. I agree with you. New South Wales, we need him. We'll find a new captain. Captains are replaceable. Teddy's replaceable. I've been saying all of last year's replaceable. I've had to eat my words a lot this season because he's actually, standing up and having a decent season. So, maybe we'll have a mock-up New South Wales squad for you guys in the next couple of weeks because it is getting close to Origin time. I thought maybe we'd pick our squads before the squads do get named. So that's something for you guys to look forward to. But we'll carry on with the rest of the show. We're heading over to Suncorp Stadium, the home of the Brisbane Broncos, but the Brisbane Dolphins want to play there instead. I don't know, get your own stadium. They went up against Benji Marshall's West Tigers. This was a sad game. I thought the Tigers, were pretty good, but they had Uppy was carrying I think it was a quad injury. It was a bit of a strained quad there. No Lachlan Galvin, of course, so they were missing him in attack. The Dolphins just, they're looking primo, bro. That 7, what's his name? Is it
Isaiah
Katoa? Man, He is classy, bro. He is classy. I like him. I like him, man. Mate. I like him, brother. Who else am I enjoying from the Dolphins? Yeah, the Hammer. He's having a season, bro. He is having a season this year. Obviously, he'll be wearing a maroon jersey come Origin season. It's pretty much banked that he'll be back in there. Good on him. It is well deserved. You know who I am liking in the Tigers this season is the resurgence of Justin Olam bro, he is. I don't know what it is at the Tigers, but man, he's found himself back into some form again, man, and it's good to see because he's a quality player. He just went a bit quiet over there at Melbourne, sorry. So yeah, no, I'm enjoying watching that unfold. They did climb back to sort of give themselves a chance, but then the Dolphins came back with two more tries to seal the game out, which gave them the 26-16 finish. I thought overall good game. I'm still not 100% sold on the Dolphins being, an elite team. They haven't quite had to play against a quality side. I think it's the Battle of Brisbane this weekend. I think it's at our home ground. It makes sense if it's at our home ground. I mean, the Dolphins don't actually have one, so yeah, it makes sense that they play at Suncorp. So that I think will be the benchmark as to see whether or not the Dolphins are contenders or pretenders. Because they've beaten the Minnows, and they've I'm not discrediting them at all. They've beaten the Minnows in some quality games. They have, however, lost in this game. They lost Herbie. He's out. He's injured. Flegler's injured, and so is Kafusi. Yeah, so that's the Dolphins and Tigers game. I watched it, but I was scrolling at the same time. It was one that I yo highlight. Yeah, watch the replay and carry on with my Saturday night. So yeah. Overall, um, you know, 2-star game. It's all right. What do you reckon?
Yeah, look, I'm going to be honest. Didn't really watch the game, but it was the game that we talked about last week that will hopefully answer a few questions for us as to where the two teams are, and who's maybe that team on the rise. Look, I don't know if any of our questions got answered, unless we just got more questions.
Yeah.
And yeah, look, just looking at who the Dolphins have faced, they got smoked in their first game by the Cowboys. They then smacked the Dragons in week 2. They had their bye in week 3, and then last week,
Titans.
week 3 they had the bye. Week 4 they smacked the Titans, put one on them. And then they've faced the Tigers. So you look at that comp: the Titans, the Dragons, the Tigers, and the Cowboys. That's not the best competition, really. So we still don't know. But look, you can only play who you play, and it's good enough to get them at the top of the ladder. Can they maintain and stay there? We don't know. Isaiah Katoa said at the start of the season, one to watch. And even though he's young, he's been around for a bit. He's the 7 for Tonga. And I think he was the 7 for them. I don't even think he had made his debut for Penrith at that point.
Oh, true.
Yeah. But he's had reps on him that long.
Damn.
Even Penrith, they were like, "Oh, this guy's like got something about him." And he just signed the bag. He's there for till 2026 now. Good on him. Korina Korima, those two just seem to work. Isaiah Katoa, Korina Korima, I don't know what they do, but it's working out. So I wouldn't change what isn't broke. Hammer at the back. He's having a hell of a season. But yeah, look, I don't know what happened on that game, but the Tigers, if Uppy's down, you're already missing Galvin. And if Uppy goes down, it's not looking good. Hopefully Uppy isn't out for too long, but if he is, that could spell disaster for the boys.
Well, I don't think he's out because he carried that injury into the game, played through it, so it was listed as a niggle. It's marked as questionable currently, so hopefully he can get through training, get to game day next week, and this weekend, sorry, and carry on. But I'm thinking I might have to bloody drop him from my fantasy. I just picked him up, and he scored a couple points more than Brandon Smith, but I still got Brandon Smith on the side. But I captain Uppy. Didn't know he had an injury because if you captain your player, you've got to do it before the first game, and then it's locked in. So I captain
okay.
Uppy, vice captain Fleckler on Thursday night, right? Didn't know the bro was injured. And then yeah, so that was that. And Lomax goes out and puts on bloody 70 fantasy points. I should have captained him. That would have been 140 fantasy points, and that would have put me in a decent steadfast. But it is what it is, and Fleckler's injured, so now I'm looking to move on from him. I've got 300k left in my play around money, so I was looking at getting rid of him and Terrell May, and picking up maybe Paddy Carrigan and someone cheap. But if you play fantasy, call it on mine. Let me know what you're doing, who you're picking up, and who you're dropping. All right, over to Sunday night now. Look, I tried to get into these games, man. Once I zoned out of the first game, that was all it. And sorry, no, I was catching up on WrestleMania actually. So I watched the first half of the Cowboys game, got bored, chucked on WrestleMania, and yeah, look, I cannot tell you what went on in any of these two games, but I will tell you. Congrats Canberra, congrats Cowboys. I mean, Cowboys, you let Titans score 22 points. How the hell did you do that? That's the Titans, man. They're at the bottom of the table for a reason. But hey, look, you got the win. It must have been, a big party up there in North Queensland, up there in Townsville to beat the Titans. I've got nothing to say really on these two games.
Yeah, no, it's look, I'm not gonna lie, pretty much did the same as you as well. Didn't really watch the games, and I was just keeping tabs on them. And the Cowboys had jumped out to an early lead as we expected, and it looks like they're going to run away with it. I seen the Titans had scored one try, didn't think much about it, and I actually put the game on. And Townsend had been sin bin. He got sin bin, and I think that coincided with the Titans and their tries. And yeah, because they scored like 3 super quick. And they had all the momentum going their way. Then I think it was AJ. Yeah, I think it was Brimson threw the intercept pass to Kyle Fout, and that ended up being the try that got him the record for the Cowboys. So shout out to Kyle Fout, who is now the all-time leading try scorer for your North Queensland Cowboys. But yeah, look, we expected the Cowboys to absolutely demolish the Titans. It ended up being that way, but no one would have predicted the Titans to score 22 points. And look, if I wasn't worried about the Eels last weekend, what they looked like without Mitchell Moses and getting absolutely pumped, jeez, I'm definitely worried about them now because you got pumped yet again. Did I watch this game? No. But that Eels team, they have a good enough forward pack, man. You got a good enough team. Dylan Brown, step your game up, brother. I think you're still an all-class player. I really do. I think you have all the talent in the world and can be one of the best players. But it looks like you're showing like you might be more of a Robin than a Batman. And Raiders, the funniest thing, right? We talked about like a lot of people wrote them off. I wrote them off, with Whiteson gone. But hey, it might have been a blessing in disguise because it seems like they have done it via the collective. And everyone has stepped up their game. So they haven't, there's no replacing Jack Whiten. He's an out-and-out superstar, and when he was there, he ran the show, he did his thing. But I think there were also times where they were too reliant on him. So if Whiten had a bad game, more often than not they would lose, and if he had a great game, more often than not they would win. Now he's not there, so they can't rely on him. And how do you fill in those holes? Everyone steps up. Morgan Smithies, the transition from Super League has been flawless. He's been great in that lock. Joey Tapine and Papali. Papali's wound back the clock. He's looking young again. Tapine, we know he's been one of the best props for the last few years now. Looking out at this world, Jamal Fogarty has finally taken a step to be a dominant half. He now runs the show and he's showing it. at fullback, you got that old guy, Tapana, one of my favourite players, just doing his work. You got Matthew Timoko, just re-signed for the next couple of years,
Oh,
looking like a
nice.
dominant centre.
Oh,
And
bro,
on
he's
the
one
other,
of the best in the comp.
yeah, he's taken that step to be an elite centre. And on the other side, you have Savage and Sebastian Chris, who are quickly forming a lethal combo.
Bro, Savage is wicked.
Yeah, Savage is, and I think it might have been one of the best things to happen to him getting dropped last year and having to buy his time again. And he's looking good on that wing, and it looks like that's where he's going to be playing for the foreseeable future. And good on him, learn his craft there. Look, this Canberra Raiders side, I think they've surprised a lot of people. Danny Levi.
Yeah,
We talk about it
I'm
every
loving
week.
Danny Levi.
Danny Levi. Who the fuck would have thought the brother Danny Levi, eh?
They also got the
Yeah.
controversial, though. It's a controversial, but they have the leading rookie of the year in Ethan Strange as well.
Oh, Ethan Strange, yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, he played good too, right? No one thought he was going to win that job. I thought everyone pretty much had penciled in Kyo Weeks, but Ethan Strange, he's
he's showing like good signs of a quality player.
Yeah, they got him for his defense. He's been solid on D, and he even got a few highlights that last game. With that couple of the breaks that he made. Ricky Short has to be happy about how they're going. They are humming along super nicely, and look, has to be said, they're looking like a top 8 team. It's just that simple. They're looking like a top 8 team, and those Eels, you better start praying for Mitchell Moses quickly. I think he was out for at least a month? He's out for a while, eh?
Yeah.
But man, it's I don't know. I couldn't even say that Guffer was all alone this time. But yeah, it's looking dire.
Desperate times down there at Parramatta.
And it shows the effect that like a super classy 7 has on your club.
Oh yeah.
Because it probably goes to show that an elite 7 changes everything. Like he's what makes them go. He's the Batman there, and yeah, it's showing. But yeah, congratulations to the Raiders. I'm almost willing to put them in the real deal category up there. I wouldn't say top 4, but I'd say comfortably a top 8 team. They're looking that good. Cowboys did what we expected them to do. Titans, I don't know. You score 22 points, take it. That's a win in itself. And Eels, yeah, it's not looking good for you, man. If they get smoked again next week, it's looking all sorts of bad. Their season might quickly be over if this keeps up. But yeah, man, that's pretty much all I got to say for the Sunday games. Do we move on to the what we got, power ranking?
Yeah, man, we got power ranking. The power ranking. Each week we do our power rankings, 1 through to 17, and this is based off of performance and opponent. So if you're facing a top tier opponent, obviously the power rankings will reflect that, win or loss. If you are facing a bottom end opponent, the power rankings will not be generous. So, we'll dive into the power ranking brought to you by 99 Dreams. Do you want to read it out this week, bro? I feel like I read them every week.
Yeah, because it's kind of your thing.
I can read it out, man. I can read it out if you want.
Yeah, why not change the script this time? But I think we don't need to fix what isn't broken, man. I say you take the reign on this. And also because I can't find it, I put it somewhere.
All good. No stress at all. Well, look, I'll run through it this way. With our big movers and shakers this week, we have a few, but it's not going up. It's mainly going down, which isn't great. So 99 Dreams, shout out to you guys for sponsoring the power rankings this week. 99 Dreams, powering our passion to power our podcast, The Practice Run. I feel like we never say The Practice Run enough when we run this show. I feel like we need to get into a habit of saying it more. But anyway, The Practice Run's power rankings, starting off at number 1 this week, moving up 1 spot, is the Melbourne Storm. Dropping down to 2 is the Penrith Panthers, and I think they're just going to be fighting for that 1-2 all year unless something drastically changes. Now making a big leap from 6, and they've just been climbing all season long, is the Warriors. They jumped from 6 into 3rd place, and at 4th is the Manly Warrior Seagulls after their performance against the Penrith Panthers. They've jumped up from 8th into 4th. The Broncos are staying at 5th this week after a strong performance against Melbourne. It was a close game and a tight loss, so I don't see them dropping down any further than 5th. The Redcliffe Dolphins will have their chance to prove that they are above the Broncos this weekend as they play against each other, but they will be in 6th, up 1 spot from 7th. The Cowboys take the biggest fall. They were in 3rd and they dropped down to 7th this week, and the Raiders up from 13th into 8th, looking to climb higher as the season goes. The Sharks had a bye week this week, so they stay at 9th. Moving on to 10th, which is a huge fall from grace for the Sydney Roosters, but after a couple of losses, they've fallen down to 10th. Just behind them, the team that beat them this week is the Bulldogs, up a few spots from last week, and ahead of Vince's Tigers, which I'm sure he'll be gutted about. So the Tigers are in at 12th this week, with the Dragons dropping down to 13th, the Knights up to 14th, and they could look to climb as the weeks progress, but they're still there or thereabouts. Parramatta is the biggest disappointment this season. After starting in 3rd, they've dropped now to 15th. Behind them, the Titans move up 1 spot because they put on 22 points this weekend against the Cowboys, whereas the Bunnies could only manage 4, so you'll see your South Sydney Rabbitohs down there at 17th. And I think the Titans and the Bunnies are going to be much like the Storm and the Panthers, fighting over those 2 spots. That is the 99 Dreams power rankings for round 5. If you guys have any concerns about where your team might rank, comment down below and let us know. What are your thoughts on this week's power rankings, bro?
Yeah, I think it's starting to take shape, eh? There's some clear teams that have kind of separated themselves from the pack, both in a good way and bad way. Because that bottom is, with the Titans and Souths, that's honestly, it feels as though it's those 2 teams, and then the likes of the Dragons, the Tigers, even my Bulldogs, and at the top, it just seems to be stock standard Storm, Panthers. You chuck the Wars in there, so I feel as though it's starting to take shape, and it's probably going to get more consistent as we go along, to the point where it might just even be solidified. But look, I like the rankings, man. I like how they're done. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the 3 and 4 spots are still open. I think if the Broncos could stay healthy, I think we'd be a lock-in at, 2nd, 3rd, if we could stay healthy. Because, without Reynolds, it completely changes. I'm not saying that we're hopeless without him, but with him on the field, man, we are 100% contenders. Without him, we're there or thereabouts. So I'm happy with how things are shaping up. I feel like, man, you owe me, bro. Ever since I put money on the Bulldogs to win Wooden Spoon, man, they've just gone up, up, and up. Come on now.
Yeah.
Come on now. Give me my flowers, man. Everyone knows I can't win a bet. So if you want to, break your drought.
Still a lot of season to go.
Hey, man, I'll see you at the end of the season. I'll be saying the same thing. Over to our team of the week. I think I did backs last week, so I think it's your turn to do backs, and I'll do forwards, and we'll do the halves together.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. Do you want me to start?
Yeah, bro, you jump on the backs.
Okay, look. We did solidify the team, right?
Yeah. Let me just resend you the final team just to make sure that we've both got the same.
Yeah, because I might be saying a different name.
Yeah. So I'll just double down there. Sorry, Fano. Technical difficulties. I did send this through, and we did do it, but we didn't quite
solidify it, eh?
Yeah. So we've got it all set up now. Sorry for the technical. Look, I told you, man. This is what do we call it? season 1 of the practice run. Of course, it's humble
run,
beginnings. Season 1, humble beginnings.
And here it is, the practice run team of the week for round 5 of the NRL at fullback with his great return to the Wars. He's just all class. We've gone with Chance Nickel Cookstead. On the wings, we have one from the Brisbane Broncos who had a killer of a game, Jesse Arthur, and he has partnered with the speed with Xavier Savage from the Raiders. And at centres, we have the devastating Matt Timoko, who's quickly rising up the ranks of being the best centre in the game. And opposite him, you have the classy Valentine Holmes, who just seems to score tries and points for fun at this point in the season. So that is what your back five's looking like. I'll hand it over to you to do the forwards.
All right, yeah. So look, backing up those back five, we've got to get some big burly forwards, and we're starting off with none other than Adam Fanua-Blake. A name that just says "say no more." Another name that says "say no more." Wade Egan for the second week in a row in our team of the week. Joey Tapine making his 99 Dreams team of the week debut for the practice run. Viliame Kikau returning in the second row again. This is his second appearance, and how do I say that? It's Elisa Eli Kator, and rounding out is Paddy Carrigan, who's actually, so we've only been doing team of the week since round 3, I think, and so that's all I've documented anyway. Paddy Carrigan is the only player to make all 3 teams so far. So from round 3, 4, and 5, Paddy Carrigan is the only player that has managed to make the team each week. Over to the Huz. Oh, yeah, carry on.
No, I was about to say, just goes to show how elite he is. Said at the start, man, he's next level. It's him and Yo.
Yeah, bro.
Fucking
100%.
Pick who you want.
100%. And yeah, Yo's been unfortunate not to make it sometimes, but it's because he's got a greater supporting cast.
Yeah.
And I think once Payne Haas comes back, you'll probably see Isaiah Yo start getting back up on the board a little bit more often. What was I going to say? All of these will be accumulated as well, and at the end of the year, we will have the practice runs team of the year as well as our overall player of the year. Now, our player of the year won't be how the Dally M is, and it won't also be just picking the most common person who's shown up in each one of our rounds. It's just honestly just picking out of all of our team of the weeks who we've thought is the most consistent and that greatest player of the year. So before we do that, before we close off the 99 Dreams sponsored team of the week, we got to go into the halves. And I think you might as well kick us off with the 5'8" because he's your boy.
Yeah. Damn right, here's my boy, the Prince of Balmore. I say he scored a hat trick and was all over the show, ringing on the back of Kikau. We have none other than Matty Burton at your 5'8" position. Well deserved, my guy.
Oh, 100%. I don't think anyone else deserved that more than Birdo. And following him in the halfback slot, we've got Jerome Hughes, who tore it up against the Broncos on Thursday night. He was everywhere you wanted to be. He's like what I wish Ezra Mann was, just in terms of consistency. Jerome Hughes is that and more. Just the one thing I don't like about Jerome Hughes' game is he does the rap and the thing a lot. Milking it for the ref. Just fuck up and play the ball, cunt. I'm sick of seeing you just lying around like, my neck, get off me. You're not Cameron Smith. Just get up and play the fucking ball. So that's your team of the week. And if I had to pick one player to be the player of the week, I'd probably have to go with Burton. He's had a phenomenal game against a quality side of the Sydney Roosters. So yeah, I've got to give that to Burton. What about you?
Yeah, look, I'll probably go, if it wasn't him, it'd be Kikau. Those two really stood out to me. Followed closely in third place by Jerome Hughes. Nice.
Well, there we go, Fano, and that's the practice runs team of the week presented by 99 Dreams. There was also the power rankings brought to you by 99 Dreams. So thank you so much for listening. And I'm sorry that we couldn't quite provide greater feedback for the Raiders and the Cowboys games. It's just, we told you guys last week we're looking forward to WrestleMania. So, hey, look, we'll be back on form this weekend. There's some huge games. We hope you tune in to us on Thursday. Other than that, I think I don't have any other Pānui. I think we're good to roll. I think I'm good from my end. All right, it's over to you, brother. Close us off. Wrap up the show like you always do.
Yeah, man, once again, we'd just like to shout out to those listening, both near and far. We really do appreciate the support. I can't believe it's already been 19 episodes and hopefully many more to come. Again, if you're listening, please support us. Go on to all of our channels. Give us a like, comment, and share. And, yep, until then, we will see you on Thursday for the previous show. Also, don't forget, if you want to win one of these amazing hats, they are quite slick. Go onto our YouTube channel. I think you just have to like it now. But again, why not comment as well and tell us who your favorite player is, and we will send it anywhere worldwide. We will get it to you. Okay, it might take a little bit longer if you live a bit further away, but it is coming your way. So if you want one of these slick hats, you know what to do. Until then, see you on Thursday. Church of the Church, Mā te wā. Boom.